Greetings and welcome to your Oracle message for the day. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. This is a collective reading and it is timeless, so whenever you come across this video, however you come across it, it's the right time for you to be getting this message, regardless of whether the card is a seasonal looking card, sounding card, or not, as we have in our example for today's reading. This is from the Earth Magic Oracle deck by Stephen D. Farmer, and today's card is the Autumnal Equinox, representing release. And what we've done is put together every single card from every single deck that we've done any readings from on this channel whatsoever into a mega deck, and pulling a random card every day, just asking the guidance and clarification from divine wisdom, the angels, our spirit team, from the collective energy as well. So be blessed, take what resonates as always, and let the rest go. As our card to say today says, release. And I know that release is something that's difficult for us. It's not something that's natural. Our tendency as human beings, part of our little lizard brain's survival mechanism, was to hang on to things that we knew were safe, hang on to things that we thought were good, were helpful, were beneficial, and not wanting to let things go. There's so many different ways that I can see and read the energy from this card. Release can be applied in a lot of different directions. We did just recently have the autumn equinox here in the United States, Northern Hemisphere itself. Again, understanding these are timeless readings, and this energy applies to you and your life personally whenever you come across this reading. So we'll just leave it at that. We have this beautiful picture. I know that the autumn changing of the colors of the leaves is a big thing for a lot of people across the planet. We go to special places just to experience this changing of the colors, a wardrobe change, if you will, of our environment. Most deciduous trees will turn some form of color from their regular greens into yellows, golds, reds, oranges. These are very, very strong base solar plexus and sacral chakra energy. Full out. Okay, the first three chakras are encapsulated in this reading. I've been called the base chakra queen before. These are, in my opinion, the most important chakras. If you could have an most important chakra, we understand that all of our energy systems need to be in alignment, balanced, in harmony with each other, with us, with where we're going and what we're doing. At different times in our lives, we're going to be relying on one or more in general over others. That's a normal thing. It's like, sometimes we need to do a lot of physical exertion, and sometimes we need to do a lot of mental exertion. So it just depends on the time of your life, where you are at right now, and what you are dealing with in your present situations, plural, across the board. Again, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, environment, partners, families, work, finances, health, all of that. Every bit of it. Your entire reality. We go through cycles. It's a normal part of the process. It's a normal part of life. It's a normal part of our 3D reality. We know that we have spring when everything is blossoming, blooming, growing, and a huge growth, expansion energy. If we had that all day long, all year long, all of our lives long, we would have a very short lifespan, and we would be like little mayflies. We would have a couple of days and that would be it. What happens with these cycles is it gives us an opportunity for regeneration, for renewal, to rest and recover after that big exertion, after the big growth energy outbursts that we go through. So autumnal equinox, beautiful energy, gold light coming down to us from divine realms, blessing us, thanking us for all of our hard work for the past few months, past few cycles, if you will, seasons of our lives, and inviting us, encouraging us to have this time to release that, release the toil, release the work, release the energy of activity, of having to make things happen. Release all of that and allow it, allow you, allow your spirit to rest. So that's one of the messages that's coming very strongly, obviously, from this card. Releasing also, we've talked many times on this channel. If you've been here more than once, you've heard it already. Releasing what no longer serves us. Releasing what used to be something that we relied on that has no longer been working for us. We need to let those old systems go. We need to let those old ways of doing things go, those old beliefs. You know what's right for you now. You've changed. You're not the same person that you were 1 minute ago or 1 year ago. And you know this. You can look back a year ago at the way that you used to react to things, stuff that would happen, and you would see now how you've been working on reacting a completely different way, in going in a completely different direction. So releasing what no longer serves us, releasing what no longer is benefiting us, allowing ourselves to have that space so that new things can come in that do benefit us, that do work for us and bring us closer to our current goals, which have probably changed since when we were a year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, however long ago. We are always changing, and we need to understand that and not get so locked into our identity, our ego of this is the kind of person that I am. I always do this. Watch yourself as you're thinking and saying those kinds of things to yourself, because you don't ever want to be one of those people. That's the way I've always been. That's the way that I am. That's just the way I do things. If it's not working for you, let it go. Release. And then the third message, again, very, very strong on this releasing. We have things that we are dreaming about, visioning. We have a goal, a target, a North Star right at the center of our compass. We are moving on our path. We are, as I said before, doing lots of work, working very hard on our dreams, our goals, our manifestations, which includes how we're manifesting our energy as well. But we have a dream. We have a vision. I've got a lot of projects I'm working on. I've got a lot of things that are in process. I'm not sure how they're going to turn out. I don't know how I'm going to get from where I am right here to where I can see myself in the future. I can see myself in the future with a specific kind of land, living in a specific kind of house, engaged in a specific kind of business, of work, of using my talents and skills in a very specific way in this specific location. I have got that locked in. I know where I'm going. And it hasn't changed a whole lot. It has evolved, but it hasn't changed a whole lot. My dream is still the same dream that I had when I was in 20s and 30s. And now it's blossoming into even more expansive ideas and energy. Releasing how it's going to happen. Releasing the need to control. I can tell you, I used to identify as a control freak. I have released that as well because it stopped serving me. It's no longer necessary for me to try to control everything. I can't. I can't control how anybody else reacts to what I'm doing, what I'm saying, the energy that I am putting out. I know that if I'm staying true to what is true for me, if I'm staying in my integrity, I am practicing being my authentic self and living my most authentic life in my expression personally, I can release the how. I don't need to know how people are going to find me, find my whatever it is that I'm working on. That's not my responsibility. It's not my problem. My responsibility is how I'm acting, what I'm doing, what I'm saying, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. Those four things. That's what I'm responsible for. That's what I need to be paying attention to and trying to control as best I can to stay in alignment with my true integrity. So I haven't looked in the book. Let's find out what Mr. Farmer has for us as well. Additional messages on our card. Feel free in the comments if you have any particular message that you got that you felt needs to be shared or would be beneficial to the collective. Feel free to share that in the comments. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, I invite you to do that. I don't get any money from these videos, but it helps the YouTube algorithm help other people find these videos as well. So, all right, Mr. Farmer, tell me what we are looking at with autumnal equinox representing release. In many areas of the world, deciduous trees prepare for the winter and conserve their energy by contracting their life force. That is, they release their leaves, which have required the rays of the sun and nourishment from the earth in order to maintain robust growth and appearance. It's not a decision the trees make, at least not in the usual sense. Instead, it's a natural response to the decreasing cycle of light that sets up the gradual and steady release of the tree's leaves. How remarkable it is that these trees, and for that matter, all of Earth Mother's children, simply know what to do with the changes in climate. Although the seasonal shift appears to be a death of sorts, it's only a preparation for the next cycle of life, one that will naturally follow the more extreme contraction of winter as an aspect of the life, death, rebirth cycle that we find represented in so many different ways. And just keep in mind, my personal note on that before we go into the actual exercise is if the trees don't release these leaves, they can't grow new ones. New growth is not possible if they don't release the old growth. New growth is not possible for you unless you release the old growth. Our exercise. Now is the time to let anything in your life fall away that is no longer useful or needed for the emerging expression of who you are. Allow yourself to gradually shed what has become burdensome and no longer congruent with your soul's purpose. Conserve your energy by allowing yourself more rest, while at the same time making preparations for the winter season. Look especially at your material possessions and be brutally honest with yourself as you discern which of these can be given away or somehow released. A little decluttering. Decluttering in your space, decluttering at work, your desk, decluttering your mind and your emotions. Consider shedding relationships that have served their purpose and are no longer viable, as well as work or a job that has become devoid of interest and passion. Just consider it. Take a look around at other job opportunities. Keep your ears open for people talking about stuff. You never know. Okay? With release comes a sense of being much lighter, just like the trees that have openly borne their nakedness once their leaves have departed and give room for whatever new life is ready to birth following a period of quiet and gestation. So let go of whatever has outlived its purposefulness and trust that something else, something better, something more perfect will take its place. Ah, what a beautiful reading. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. Appreciate that. So that is our reading for the day. I do hope that it blessed you, encourages you, maybe a little decluttering in your life, decluttering stuff that no longer is necessary, is no longer needed. A lot of times I'll go through my house. I have a lot of things that are dust collectors. We'll just call it that. It can be a little kitschy in my house sometimes. Periodically, I just go through and box up, bag up everything and put them in a storage room, in a closet, and have just a whole bunch of open space. It's amazing. I heard or read somewhere one time that having a flat open space is like an abomination to nature. You'll figure out things that need to go on that space. Magically, things will suddenly have to be put on that flat open space, like a table. You clear off a table, and suddenly you have room for a whole bunch more stuff. So you have to be careful of that kind of thing sometimes, and that kind of activity. You don't want to just be replacing clutter with more clutter. You want to be really evaluating what you're bringing into your life and what you're keeping, what you're letting go, releasing, and what you are bringing in, inviting. So this is an invitation to you. Release what no longer serves you, let it go. Shed those leaves. Have some rest. This is a quiet time. So that's our reading for the day. I do hope it blessed you. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. Namaste and ciao for now.